What you're about to witness is the culmination of around 8 hours of the most painful start to anything that I have ever done, ever. It is not an understatement to say that this is the most painful video I have had to create so far. Be prepared to witness pain, misery, wasted time, failure, and death in the first episode of Vault Hunters. Yo, what's up, producers? My name is Doogie, and welcome to Vault Hunters. Now, you don't know this, but I'm actually recording this live, as in not when this, video is being recorded, but in the editing process, when I found out that my microphone wasn't recording. I've been doing this for many years. I am professional, 100%. But anyway, welcome to Vault Hunters. Now, if you don't know what Vault Hunters is, then, well, allow me to explain. Vault Hunters is the modern mod pack. It has everything you could possibly want in it. I'm talking like create. That's really one of the only mods I know about. There's a ton of them though, but it's all the modern mods that are really great compiled into a single mod pack where you procedurally unlock them by going through a vault. You go through the vault system, you get experience, you get items, you unlock mods as you go along, you have a grand old time. It's a kind of like a rogue-like dungeon system, if you will. Now, I have no clue what my character's doing in this because, once again, I'm recording this in the editing process, but I guess I'm going through all the stuff there is in the pack right now that you can clearly see on screen. Look, I've never had to record live audio, but I cannot believe I didn't record this audio live. This is just completely ridiculous. But anyway, I know that the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find a house or a place to make a house. This is the first world. Huh? Yes, spoiler alert. The first world. Like I said in the intro, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of misery. There's death. This is not a fun process for me. So, instead of boring you to death with, me trying to come up with whatever the heck I said at the time when I was recording this, I'm instead going to cut to the time-lapse now, where I will explain what goes on during the time-lapse. So I started as any good Minecraft series does. I mined some wood, made some wooden tools, and decided to move on with my life and go into the wilderness. And after going on a journey that would make the Odyssey look like a cakewalk by comparison, I gathered some resources, some more wood, all the other stuff that you kind of need, animals, food, that kind of stuff. And then I eventually came across a cavern that looked pretty nice, and so I set up shop there. It was then that I started mining for some stone and iron so that I could upgrade my tools, and also made a small place to set up shop for myself, building a chest and a furnace and everything that I needed. It was at this point that... What did I do next? Oh, right. So I went about making it... What is this? I don't know how to describe this. Basically, I built a shrine, I guess. We'll go with a shrine. I spent about 20 minutes just setting up the cave and making it look a little bit nicer. Then we get to the problems. It is at this point that I realize I need resources. How do you get resources? You go mining. So I head down into the caves to try and mine for some resources. There's only one problem. This is probably the worst cave I've ever had, and also the worst mining experience I've ever had. I spent about maybe 20 minutes because I was so short of food, just fishing and doing a bunch of other dumb things as I'm in this cave, just trying to figure out how to get out without starving to death, and I basically wasted the next 40 minutes of my life in this cave getting only a bit of iron and some coal. I would not recommend god-awful mining session. You know what? I don't even feel like commentating over this. I'm going to set it to 12,000 times the speed and let it run. So, at this point, I actually, during my mining trip, found something called vault stone. Now, vault stone is very important because it's how you make the vault crystals. Now, vault crystals are what you use to actually get into the vault. So what you need to do is you need to mine a bunch of vault stone, where you'll be getting mostly vault cobblestone, but you have a small percent chance of dropping a shard that you use to make the crystal that you use to get into the vaults. So I went ahead and took like 5, 10, 15 minutes to mine the entire swath of vault stone and carried it back up to the surface. Now, it was at this point that I decided I need to go and find more resources. Specifically, I was looking for one thing. Not only did I need more diamonds, of course, but I needed something called chromatic iron. Now, allow me to explain to you one of the most annoying game mechanics in Vault Hunters. Chromatic iron is a very rare resource, even more rare than diamonds. However, here's how its spawn mechanics work. It spawns rarely, but in large quantities. If you find chromatic iron, you will find just as much as you need. You'll find a ton of it. However, there's a problem. It doesn't spawn next to air blocks. Now, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but let me explain. This means you cannot find chromatic iron by caving. You must either strip mine for it, which will take a while because it's pretty rare, or you can go into the caves that are waterlogged. You bring some doors down with you and try your best to breathe underwater like some kind of fish while you navigate through the caves with doors to hopefully find the chromatic iron you're looking for. I did that. Not only did I not find any chromatic iron, I ended up doing something that was even worse. I died so far away from my house that I knew there was no way I was going to go back and get those items back. So, what did I do? Well, I did the only rational thing a human being does when everything that they've worked for over the past, I don't know, at this point I think we're 4, maybe 5 hours into me playing this and recording all this footage. Anyway, I decided to do what any rational human being does when they lose absolutely everything. I ended it all. I left the world, went into the main menu, selected my world, and told the game, delete it. Get rid of it. I don't want it. And I went back to square one. And so I started up a new world, and immediately got started on getting the resources that I had had before. I went around mining some of the local vegetation, sugarcane, cactus, and the like, and I managed to ultimately get myself some stone, some coal, iron, and all the other good stuff. So, after grabbing all these resources, I went about my life, wandered a little while, and eventually came across a village where, well, I did what you always do when you find a village. I proceeded to steal the people, steal the resources, and leave. So, I went to a local mountaintop where I set up a small camp, where I built a mine and all sorts of other things. You know what I mean. You put the chest next to the bed, next to the furnace, you got a home, alright? It wasn't the cave that I'd had before, but it was a home nonetheless. And I then went on a very long mining trip. Okay, now that 2 hours of my life is over and I've gotten back to where I was, when this whole thing started, we can now look at my very first vault run, which unfortunately, due to me being an absolute moron, has no audio. So, the run started off well enough. I went into the vault, grabbed some stuff, some blocks. I was getting items, killing monsters, just having a grand old time, managing to get all the stuff that I knew I would need to progress in the mod pack. However, there was a problem. Monsters. So, in the vault, okay, you have monsters that spawn, obviously, because you gotta have something to fight. The problem is that these monsters can vary in strength. And, not to mention, in the vault, there's no natural healing. Now, what that means is that the natural healing you get from eating, when you eat food, and you get that saturation, and your health comes back, there's none of that. So, if you go into a vault with full health, and that's what you go in there with, that is all you have unless you have some sort of healing ability or you have like potions of health. I had none of these things. So, I very quickly put myself in a position where I got jumped, essentially. 2 baby zombies, specifically husks, came after me out of the woodworks, and I took so much damage that I got down to half a heart. Now the good thing is that until you hit level 20, which I believe is the current level, because this mod pack is kind of still being developed a little bit, but until you reach level 20, you have beginner's grace, meaning you will not lose all of your items in the vault if you do die. So even if I died, I would have just respawned outside with all of my stuff. But I would have lost all the stuff I got in the vault, not to mention I would have wasted a whole vault crystal, which, if you couldn't tell by my struggle to find chromatic iron, is a little hard to get. So I didn't want to waste that. So I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna leave. I got half a heart. I gotta get out of here. So I left. I got back home. I put my stuff in the chest, and I ended the most unsuccessful vault run in history. I was done. And honestly, I thought the video would be a little bit longer by this point in the editing process, so I was going to end the video here, but we're actually going to jump back into real-time me, where I'm going to take you guys through my second vault run, if I can actually do the crystal, and we're just going to, you're going to join the future me, alright? Just cut to future me editing me. Future me editing me. Hello there. Alright. Far as I'm aware, this should actually be recording now, and the audio should be working. If you're wondering what the issue was, well, it's quite simple, actually. You see, I'm a moron, okay? Just an absolute moron. So I went into my recording software, and there was an option to split the audio track between the game and mic sound. I said, yeah, that sounds great. It didn't record my microphone, though. That's the thing. What I'm guessing it meant is it wanted me to use that software only to record the video, and I should have a separate software for audio that I don't have. So we just simply didn't have any audio. But we're back online. We should be working now. The audio should be good. Alright, I'm not going to lie to you. We're not running a vault, okay? I lied. I mean, why are you surprised, guys? It's me. Is me lying to you a new thing? I mean, I should really cut that out. That's really not a good joke to leave in the video. Future me. Future me, hey, editing me. Remember that. Right? Right, future me? Right, editing me? You're gonna cut that out, right? Anyway. So, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I'm tired. I'm very tired, okay? This video has not been easy to create. It's taken far too long to get this out. I'm tired. You're tired of watching. You're tired of watching me fumble around and try and do half the things that most people will do on the first episode of any series, and I'm tired of fumbling myself. So, what I've done actually is I have set the vault difficulty to easy, so hopefully things will be easier in the next episode, because I'm tired. I'm just tired, alright? I'm kind of done, alright? I've had enough of looking at this world, this blocky world. I mean, seriously, what you guys have seen in like maybe the past at most 20 minutes has been like 8 hours of my time, not to mention the editing and all that other good stuff. So this has not been fun, okay? I'm going to leave now. I'm going to cut the video out. I'm going to say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I did not, and I'll see you guys in the next episode or other video, of course, if you want to watch something else. Who am I to judge or tell you what to watch? Goodbye. Get out of here. I want to leave. I'm so done.